What's up, Lowlives? Welcome to your Friday. It's your motherfucking boy, Rhino. Holla back, youngin'. We got my boy, Danny Panhead, as always. What up?
Sodded.
What's up, dude?
Sodded. What's going on, you motherfuckers?
Oh, dude.
Happy
We're
Friday.
we're gonna be joined by Speed and Noise tonight, one of our illustrious Dirty Dozen builders for the fucking Idle Hand Show, the greatest chopper show on planet Earth. Still up in the air, guys, if this will be the only one. We might be one and done. Like, bang, top it, because it
Uh,
will be the greatest chopper show ever. It's a 4-day event. We got the welcome party on Thursday at the Courier Gallery of Art. We got the fucking pre-party, the VIPs and builders, on the fucking Friday, and then we have the main event on Saturday. We got funnel cake, bitch. We got a mechanical peg. We're gonna have fucking hatchet throwing. Oh, by
hot
the way, we're gonna
dogs.
have like hundreds of choppers, okay,
Yep.
from all over the country. You're gonna have me and Danny. We're gonna have 10 G's floating around, dude. 10 G's, and
Hot
it's gonna
dogs,
be fucking fun.
hardcore, drag races, fucking games, $1 beers. It's all going to be filmed into this crazy fucking content monster for the next year. So show up and fucking while out. Make sure you're on
Yeah,
the fucking trailer for next year's.
yeah.
Do some
What's
crazy
what's
shit.
what's the fucking idle hands fit gonna be? It's got to be different than fucking Coachella, which is just the same as Born Free. What's the fit, guys?
I don't even know what you're saying.
You know how people get fucking they have like a fit, they get like gussied up for these events, you know?
But for like idle hands?
Yeah, dude.
Wear a fucking pair of jeans and or a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. It's gonna be hot
No,
as
dude, it's
fuck.
like it's gonna be like Coachella. You have to have like fucking, you gotta select what you're gonna be wearing. You gotta be
Me-
like, like what, like, are you gonna have a flower headband on? You know,
Men in crop tops.
it's
That'll be
mostly
it.
gonna be dudes, I'm sure.
Dudes in crop tops. I think that'll probably end up being it.
Yeah, dude, I might do the crop top thing.
Yeah, I'm
My
in. I'll
fucking
give it a
beer
shot.
gut's almost totally gone, dude.
Fuck yeah. That's sick,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, I'm feeling fucking. Dude, I'm not even eating food anymore. Just protein shakes
Dude, I know
and
what.
creatine.
Hell yeah, dude. They say creatine does a lot for you too.
Yeah, it's like the best thing in the world, apparently. Everybody's talking about it. It's not just for muscles, it's good for your brain and shit.
Yeah, right.
I could definitely use some brain power.
Yeah, I know. I have gummies and I have tasteless creatine powder, but I'm so fucking bad at remembering like medications and supplements and shit like that. It's awful. If I ever
Yeah.
get on some like, you need to take this medication or you will die in your sleep, I'm probably gonna die in my sleep. I always forget that shit, dude. It's so bad.
Yeah. I do yeah, just chuck it all in. I got all powder everything, like the
Mhm.
creatine, and put it in the protein shake, and then it's like you got your vitamins, your minerals, your B complex, A, B, C, D,
Right.
fucking folic acid, all that shit, and then you just drink it down.
Yep. Fuck yeah.
And then you don't have to think of it. It's kind of nice though, because then you don't have to think about like you're never hungry, you know, and you don't have to think about like food ever. It's nice.
For a while, they're a little pricey. I mean, it's not bad when you break it down per bottle, but I was doing these. They're like the Ensure shakes, but they were extra high calorie, like on purpose. They were 500 calories per, and they were like a little, like 6-8 ounce fucking milk carton thing. And I used to do 2 of those a day during the day at work to just get 1,000 freebie calories.
Yeah.
And it's so dense and calorie rich that I did not get hungry. I got 0 hunger pangs until like dinner time.
Dude, it's amazing how much the protein fucking like fills you,
Yeah. And those things were
you
like
know?
42 grams of protein each or something. It was fucking wild. The
Yeah.
farts were incredible, but you had to choke it down. It was like wet concrete, but yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
do the what is it? The fucking muscle milk stuff.
mhm.
Pretty good. I actually gave some to my kids today and they were like, "Can you make me some protein shakes?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can't take protein shakes. You're fucking in first grade, dude."
Yeah, you're going to turn into Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I don't want you to get stronger than me till you're like at least 16.
No
Like there's
shit.
gonna be a day when they do beat me up,
Oh, yeah.
just a matter of time.
Me and my son talk about that day frequently.
Yeah. Like everybody's fought their dad at least once in their life. And it's usually in their teens. And you're like, "Hey, I can take you, motherfucker."
I never got the opportunity with my biological, and I regret it every day.
Yeah, well, you're never too old to beat up your dad. You know, I might give it a another go, before my
Yeah.
dad dies. He's getting up there.
Get your licks in while you can. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, my kids too, they're like, "Yeah, I wanna go to the gym. I wanna go to the gym, I wanna drink protein shakes, and I wanna learn fucking jujitsu and karate and boxing." My kid wants to go to a boxing gym. I'm like, "Fuck that, dude. You get all that shit together, and then I'm no longer the
Yeah,
king of the castle. You
right.
guys run this place. I'll be depositing my checks right into your bank account,"
You're gonna have chores and allowance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing I have over you is that I'm bigger than you, you
Yeah.
know? Speaking
Ugh,
about being bigger than other people, let's shout out the motherfucking sponsors of the Idle Hands show.
good
They're
segue.
better than all of you. They support the coolest chopper event in the country, in the world, in the history of choppers. First up, we got Dirty Dan's Chop Shop. Follow him on Instagram at Dan Sheehan3. All right. We got Aztec Leather Company, aka Joseph Greenleaf. Don't call him Joe. Put some respect on his name. That's a biblical name, man. Go check out his episode we did with him last week. Fucking New Mexico, dude. We got Matt from Burnt Up Customs. He doesn't just do wood burning now. He does pinstriping, and he's fucking talented trophy maker as well. So check him out, support him. We got Ron at Traditional Chopper Mag. I've learned more from Ron this year than probably any other like biker dude ever
Mm,
from our short conversations like this year alone. That dude is smart. And his fucking biker mag is sick too. Like I
yeah.
was thumbing through it. It has like our ad in it, but like he's an old school dude. I love that, keeping it real.
Yeah.
We
Nice.
got Danger Dan, MC Shop Tees. Don't forget to go get yourself signed up for MC Shop Tees. All right. You're gonna get if you put in code Lowlife, you will get I think it's $10 off your first order. So you're gonna get a fucking sick ass t-shirt delivered to your door for 16 bucks. And if you don't do that at least once, you are retarded.
Where
You should be forcefully committed to a mental asylum in a different country because we don't have them here. So we're gonna like send you to Ecuador. Okay. So just go and do it. It supports MC Shop Tees. Great mission. He's the Costco hot dog of the fucking chopper scene, dude. His
Mhm.
prices have not gone up. He started this MC Shop Tees, what, like fucking 8 years ago?
Yeah, a long
And it's
time
still
ago.
26 bucks a month, dude. New artist every month, new t-shirt. They're quality tees. And if you support him, he's also supporting us. So go sign up. Low Life at checkout. It is active. We got Money Shot Fabrications. That's at Money Shot Fabrications on Instagram. Gregory Gibb. Go give him a follow. We got Big Truth. Chop Ahead. Big Truth, the Big Truth podcast, the fucking Big Truth redacted. Shit's blowing my mind.
Dude,
Go follow him.
the last like 4 or 5 episodes are like 4 or 5 of my favorite podcast episodes ever done. The last one about
Yeah.
the crowd fucking companies and shit,
I
man.
just
And
I just
it's
started listening to
fucking
that one this morning actually. And I was like, it's one of those ones where you're like, and then
yeah.
your mouth gets even more agape as he goes on. You're like,
In the way the dude just talks about it like it's like he's selling fucking cookies or something. It's crazy. But yeah,
yeah.
Truth's killing it on the podcast lately, so definitely go check it out.
Yeah. I love it that like he could just straight up do a motorcycle podcast, period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fill it because he knows everybody,
Hmm.
dude. And he's been in it for forever. But the paranormal stuff, I'm super into,
Yeah.
and then all this crazy shit, like real life shit that's
Hmm.
stranger than fiction, I'm there for that too.
Yeah.
I even listen to the music ones, honestly, dude. Like, I'm not a
Yep.
big music podcast guy, but I listen to that shit.
I love him. Yeah.
Easy Co. Of course, we got John and Craig. I shout out to John actually because he hit me up after last episode. And that motherfucker is a chopper encyclopedia. I got on the horn with him, dude. And again, I think I'm probably older than him, but he dropped some old head knowledge on me, bro. Turns out I got a fucking knuckle transmission, dude.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, he helped me fucking decipher it and helped me get it all like fucking bolted up and aligned right, just to make sure it would work because I have STD cases and shit that I was not even considering.
Hmm.
Like all this shit, I was just like, it's probably good. But then he was dropping some knowledge, and turns out me and Dan are good. But yeah, dude, he's one of those dudes, man. Like he knows what the fuck he's talking about, and super appreciate it. You
I'm
know?
sure you realize this too after the fact, but like his timing could almost not have been more perfect because you are about to get to a point where like, oh fuck, dealing with this is a problem. Like I'm trying to get it to run now. So at least
Yeah,
now you have a buffer because you're doing body work and paint and all that stuff. You're coming up. So you have a buffer to be like, all right, I need a day, put this on the bench, whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If you needed to. So it
No, it
was
was
like,
actually it was perfect timing because I was working on the transmission. Like he called
right,
me, and I have the kicker pedal off. I'm going through. I'm popping off the top. I'm cleaning it up, but I'm also like just making sure everything's there. And yeah, it was just perfect timing because it's like, hey, yeah, if I
nice.
need a different shaft length, now's the time, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be Gucci, baby. I
Ugh.
don't. If anybody's in the market for a knucklehead in great working condition, knucklehead transmission, I will sell it to you for a shit ton of money. But it's not on sale. I'm not hooking it up. I want a shit ton of money because I need to go. I'll just buy. I don't even give a fuck. I'll buy like a '70s, fucking
I'll
cow
buy.
pie. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Deadbeat Customs, Steve over at Deadbeat Customs. He's been doing these fucking whatnot live sales and shit. I missed the last two, but
Mm.
I got to get on that because he's selling fucking nice gear for like
Yeah.
practically nothing. Shout out to Deadbeat. I just put in an order. I forget what I even ordered from him. I think I got some split tanks. That's what I got. Yeah, I got some split tanks off him. Put in code Lowlife, and I saved myself some money. So don't
Hell
forget that
yeah.
Lowlife code. He is mad shit. What did you say? He just entered like hundreds of
A hu-
thousands of
a
SKUs.
hundred, yeah, 100,000 plus
Yeah,
parts to the website. Yeah.
yeah. There's a ton of shit. Dude, I was just poking around because I need all sorts of like little shit.
Yep.
But Deadbeat Customs has it, dude. So
It's
go
got the
check them
full
out.
V twin catalog on there and shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really impressive.
Yep. We got Spectro oils, the only oil that I'll ever use for the rest of my life. I talked to John, he's the salesman. He convinced me. And what was the nail in the coffin was Fat Man's endorsement. Now I'm a Spectro guy.
Mm.
Don't even ask me what kind of oil. Spectro is all that's going to pass these lips. All right. American refined, high quality. They got straight weight. You ain't dumping fucking 20 fucking WD 50 in a fucking on an old vintage bike. It doesn't even know what that shit is. Synthetic? What? Conventional, man. Straight 60, Bo. All right, we got Stay Strong Co., our boy Jean Luc. He just hit me up today just to make sure I didn't fuck up the velocity stack that he sent me. He's like, oh, by the way, I know you're retarded, so don't torque that down too bad because it's made out of resin. And I was like, actually, I probably would have. I probably would have done that.
Real quick for evidence. Clay, no, you can't see it. God damn it. Clay's
It's just a
calling
white
me right
screen. What
now.
the fuck?
Clay's calling me right now. Clay, I can't answer you because I'm doing a podcast. I'll call you after, I promise.
Oh, yeah.
That poor
That's
dude,
evidence.
every time he calls me, I'm like in the middle of like bedtime with the kids or literally eating or something. It's like, fuck, I promise I'm not ducking you, dude.
Yeah. No, Dan's good at getting back to people. Um,
Yeesh.
but he's a busy guy. I'm the same way, dude. Like, I can't. Some people, they'll answer a call if they're doing stuff. I
Yeah.
have to not be doing anything. Like, if you
Mm-mm.
call me and I'm in a grocery store, I'm like not picking up. I can
Hell
only
no.
do one thing at a time.
Yeah, for
But when I
sure.
do have you on the phone, you have my undivided attention. Like, I just talk, I'm on the phone. That's what I'm doing at that point. I see
Right.
these people in public, they're talking to people, they're checking out at the fucking, like, what are you doing? Just
No,
wait.
I personally think that's incredibly fucking rude. And I would never be the person having a full fledged conversation while someone's bagging and scanning my groceries. I hate that shit. It drives me
And you're
nuts.
talking to other people and fucking, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I
It's
fucking
fucking
hate that.
stupid.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking on the phone? Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's
Yeah, I
confusing. Like,
hate that
it's like,
shit.
I'll just call you back.
Yeah, no, I'm
I'm
the same
just
way.
remembering now. I think last time I talked to you on the phone, I was checking out at the liquor store, but that's different.
That is totally different. That's not a real place.
Yeah, it's not real. You're getting
No,
drugs.
no.
But yeah, so go hit up at Stay Strong Co. Get the shits, get the LCP chopper sauce. and have him make you a bunch of stuff. He does really great resin shit. I got a lot, dude. Actually, I got the grips, I got the velocity stack, and just as a fucking little bonus, little boner, he sent me those skull caps.
Fuck
So
yeah.
yeah, great shit. He also sent me a fucking thing of lube too. He's
he always
funny.
he always sends some goofy shit.
Yeah. So, all right, we got Pork Chops Barbershop. That's Madison Deno. Go check out at Pork Chops Barbershop in Colorado. New shop, get in, build that clientele with her. We got Torque Motorcycles, our boy. Uh, he has really high quality shit. Personally, my favorite travel bag, my favorite sissy bar bag. I've had at least 5 or 6, and I go back to the Torque every time. It's waterproof. It's
Yep.
the right size, and it just fucking works for when you have to pack a lot of shit. I'm talking like weekend trips and shit. Go get one. Walsetta Cycles. He's at every motherfucking chop meet, dude, and he has really great shit. He does I think that's what he like specializes in. He does the swap meet circuit, dude. He's at all of that shit. But I always stop by, man, and he always has something good. He is like chopper shit. He's out there hustling, buying parts and shit. Super nice guy. He was gonna hook me up. Yeah, he's just like considerate too. Like he was gonna hook me up with those parts and shit, and then he forgot them. So he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry. Will you be here tomorrow?" But A+ guy, really good deals and good parts. So go check him out.
Oh yeah.
And we got a new one this week. Motherfucking Lowbrow Customs. Maybe you heard of them. A little operation out in Ohio. Tyler Malinky. Did I say that right?
Blanky, yep.
Malinky. I always want to make his last name longer for some reason. Add some extra consonants in there. But I reached out to them and they were on board, They've, by the way, just recognized real guys. They supported the Lowlife Lowdown. All right. Our little rinky dink fucking parking lot bike show. Okay. So now they're on board with the big dogs. They're supporting the Idle Hand show, which is, and I don't know how many times a week I have to say this, the greatest chopper show in the history of chopper shows. You be the judge. You show up and you come up to me and you tell me if it's not the greatest. I'm calling it. I'm confident. All right.
Okay.
Do we have any other shout outs or shows that we need to announce?
Right there, baby. Shout out Chopper Fisher.
Oh, you got the windbreaker.
Yeah, he was walking around in one of these at the Lost Bottle show, and I was like, fuck, man, I haven't had a windbreaker in a long time. I need one, and this one's sick. So it's embroidered on there. It's fucking beautiful. So go to his website and buy yourself some merch. He's got some really cool shit on there. I didn't realize he really, really stepped his merch shit up. So go check it out. Support the fucking man. That's really all I got.
All right, well, let's roll into this interview with Kevin at Speed and Noise on Insta. We're back, Low Lives. We're joined with our boy Speed and Noise, the XS king of the Northeast, I'd say.
Thanks, guys. Good to be here with you.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on, man. I'd say you were on the Low Life podcast a long time ago, before my time, right? With Grease and Loctite.
Yeah, that was for 3 years ago.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, this is like a new experience then.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, and honestly, this is the second time I've ever been on a podcast, so still pretty new.
Right on.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Batting 1,000.
So you're out of New York?
Yeah, Newburgh, New York, in the Hudson Valley.
Hudson Valley. Is that, I have no idea where that is. Is that like upstate New York? Is it toward the city?
Yeah, I'm about an hour and a quarter north of New York City.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so that way. All right.
Yeah, actually, one of the claims to fame for Newburgh is it's headquarters of Ted's V Twin, and Motorcyclopedia Museum is here, so a lot of people know it from that.
Dude, someone just
that's
posted
right.
about that, and I was looking at the bikes they got there, and they're so sick, dude.
It's worth the trip. It's really good. You need hours to go through it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there's
gotta
just
get
a
down there.
sea of bikes, you know?
I
Gear
remember-
ones, too.
Yeah, there's
I
a
had to
World
go down
Choppers-
that. I had to go down that way. I was right outside of West Point, I think, for work, and I had to stay there overnight. And Chicken Rick hit me up, and he was like, "Dude, if you're out there, go check out the museum." But they were closed that day; they weren't open.
Oh, shit.
Damn it! And I was only there the one day, and I was like, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
think
be
it's
that.
like Thursday through Saturday or Thursday through Sunday only.
Yeah, I think it was like a Monday or Tuesday I was there and they weren't open. It's like, damn it. But
Damn.
yeah, I got to get down there and check it out. Looks awesome.
Yeah, let me know.
Cool,
Yeah,
for
dude.
sure.
Um, so you, I guess you build a lot of XSs, but you build all sorts of different bikes. Tell us a little about just like your background. How'd you get into bikes? And like, yeah, just are you like, were you born into it? Did you get into it late in life? What was that journey like?
Yeah, so I think I'm a third generation motorcycle rider. Apparently, my grandfather had an Indian chief in Brooklyn in the 40s.
Very
Unclear if
cool.
it may have been a neighbor's. It was basically cheap transportation. Wish I still had it. I also wish I had the brownstone that they lived in and owned as well. But
Mm.
Be a
my dad,
millionaire.
yeah, my dad had bikes since I was, before I was born, and probably a lot of the reason that I'm into Japanese bikes is because of him. He always said, the Japanese bikes are the best. They perform the best, they're the fastest, cheapest, whatever. So I like all bikes. I really like the 650s. Um, I think they perform well. They're a lot of fun. They're super cheap. I can't pass up a $500 project on Facebook. That's why I have probably, oh, I don't know, over 2 dozen of them right now. So
Wow.
yeah, mostly projects, like if you added up all the frames and engines and wheels and stuff like that.
Where do you keep all of them? Or do you have a barn, or do you have
Oh, I
like
mean,
an
that's
airplane hangar?
no, no. I'd have a lot more bikes if I did. Um,
Sounds like it.
I have a small 2-car garage with a crawl space up in the attic that is crammed full of parts, and I have a tent, like one of those 10 by 10 Harbor Freight tent sheds in the back full of projects, and then a 10 by 20 storage unit that I got 10 years ago when we moved into the house, and I thought like, oh, I'll just put my furniture in here for a month or two, and then 10 years later, I'm still paying it every month.
Damn.
Yeah.
Storage container is the move, though. That's like
Yeah.
they're still that's like one of those things that's relatively cheap still, and you can really pack bikes in there.
Oh, this is a storage unit. Like I'm paying a lot every month for it. It's not a storage
Mm.
container like one of those C containers.
It's a monthly thing.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so it keeps going up, and now I just keep putting more stuff in it, and it's like really hard to get out of it. It's kind of a trap, but I got tons of bikes in there too.
Like if you want to get a bike out of the way back, you're like have to work your way. You're like I have to build like 15 bikes before I can reach that bike.
Yeah. I tell people if I quit my job and focus on building bikes full time, I'd probably be busy for a decade at this point.
Oh, there you go.
But I keep buying
Cool.
more projects.
What do you do for work?
Oh, I'm an art teacher in high school.
An art teacher.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Is it
actually, I went to
for
school
all
for
grades
ceramics.
or like
You see
one
the
a
ceramics
specific
section.
grade?
I teach high school, so 9 to 12,
9 to 12.
and I teach
Wow.
basic studio, and then I teach ceramics, which I went to school for.
That's awesome, dude.
Very
Mhm.
cool.
Thank you.
High schoolers are cool. High schoolers are fun because they're like kind of like little adults. Some of them are
Yeah.
legally adults at that age.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, I started in elementary school, and I was waiting for this job to open for a few years, and it wasn't my speed. High school is the best because, like you said, they could talk to them like an adult. They're pretty self-sufficient, and they're more advanced than their
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they actually respect you a lot more too because they get it. Especially in an art class in high school. Well, when I went to high school, it was like an elective. Like you had to have like art credit or whatever, but
Yeah.
like you could take a bunch of art classes if you wanted to. So like the people that were in those art classes really wanted to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
offer a bunch. We have, I teach ceramics 1 and ceramics 2. And then there's like digital art, there's drawing and painting, there's fashion illustration, there's a bunch of things. So they've got a lot of
Yeah.
options. And we also, luckily, we still have like all the tech classes. We've got classes where you can do 3D printing, and it's at the other end of the building. But I went in there last year I actually took a class with one of the teachers on one of our PD days, and there was like all kinds of welders and machines and CNC routers, and some kid was building like his own version of a quad with a Harbor Freight Predator motor. This is pretty awesome.
That's sick.
Mhm.
Dude.
That's so cool.
Yeah, with the internet and shit, like these kids must like with the energy of a high schooler, and the ambition, you put that together with the internet and fucking access to tools and access to resources, they can really do something with it.
Yeah, they're capable.
Yeah. I'll Just a quick antidote. The reason that I dropped out of high school is because of my art teacher. Yeah, dude, Miss Lane, she was like 600 pounds. I'm not being mean, dude. She was like 600 pounds, shaved head, wicked mean art teacher. And I was in art class. I loved art class. Always excelled, like in art. I was like, I went to classes at the Courier Gallery of Art where we're having our welcome thing
Oh
to
no.
do art in like fifth grade, dude. Like I was a gifted artist and I wanted to be like a cartoonist and an animator. Anyways, good at art. She fucking failed me. All right. So I dropped out when I was 17 for like half a year or whatever. And then I took correspondence courses to like catch up because I was so far behind because I was a shitty student. And then I went back for my senior year and it was like May, dude, my senior year. And she failed me on a project. She gave me a 0 for a project would brought me, I wasn't gonna get credit. I was gonna be a half a credit shy or whatever from graduating
Uh,
for a project that I did, and she was like, "Where is it?" It was in the Bedford Mall, dude. They had like a we actually showcased it. I'll tell you what it was. We did a fake logo for a fake business, and mine was for a piercing business, and it was like a tongue with like a tongue piercing through it or something. It was wicked cool. But it was in this art show at the Bedford Mall, and she fucking like lost it, and then she gave me a 0. So I go, "School's bullshit," and then I dropped out, dude, a month before graduating. Got my
mm.
GED. Started working at Mexican food restaurants as a busboy. It was amazing.
So she failed you for the project that was hanging up in the mall because it was good enough to hang up in a mall?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and
not
that's why I was just like, "Fuck it. This is all bullshit. I'm out of here." So fuck you, Miss Lane.
no.
Hope you're listening to this podcast right now.
Yeah. Well, as an elective teacher, I try to be pretty laid back. Besides being an art teacher, it's like comes
Yeah,
with the
dude,
territory,
that's the
but
shit, dude. That's you get to teach kids that are interesting and you get to that's just a fun job. How long have you been a teacher for?
over 10 years.
10 years. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I had a couple small I was subbing for a while, leave replacement for a little while, and then I got this job at the elementary and then moved to the high school.
Shit.
Can't
That
complain.
sounds like a pretty good life, dude. Teach art during the day, make cool fucking Jap bikes in the afternoons,
Yeah. If I have the
Man,
energy. Today,
summertime. Do you get summertime off?
yeah. Yeah, actually that's why I was on the podcast last time to talk about Yamahas and to talk about the cross country trip we did on them.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, there was another good friend of mine in the city is an art teacher also. We met in school in New Paltz, and we took this huge trip out west for a whole month. So
Oh, that's
summers are
right.
definitely a perk.
That is fun.
Yeah, that's sweet.
No shit. So your dad
Damn.
got you into the Jap bikes. Um, you dabble with the Harleys at all or any other kinds of bikes, or do you pretty
Yeah.
much stick with
Well, I do, and I actually have a bunch. I have some big twins. I got let's see, a 50 EL, a 69 flat side. I just got it's a 59 pan in a softail frame. I got a bunch of early Sportsters and Ironheads. And one of them is the Ironhead I won at Strange Days, the event that's coming up. So
you
I've had
won
that
that?
for oh god, like 14 years now. I think it's
Mm.
been a long time. So yeah, I do. I like all bikes. I love Triumphs, but the thing is that I'm so familiar with the Yamahas that it's like easy. So I'll put those bikes aside and then pull out a Yamaha because I can get it done quicker. And it's like a no
Yeah,
brainer for me.
yeah, yeah. It's more fun when you know what you're doing for sure. Like
Uh-huh.
the struggle when you have to figure stuff out. Once you do it and you got it, and you're like, oh, I know how to fix this problem. Like then it's
Yeah.
fun and you feel smart and rewarded when you do it.
The struggle through the fun stuff, the aesthetic and the creative, and like I want to struggle in that part. I don't want to struggle with the maintenance side of this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or how it just goes together.
Yeah, for
Especially the
sure.
big twins. Like I really need to push myself and pull one of those out and start working on it. Because I know, like you said, once you get into it, you'd be like, oh, I see how this works. Now I can do it again or fix it on the side of the road if I have to.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah,
so different because it's like, especially with the different transmission and how the primary works and everything. It's like, I don't know how any of that really works.
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel the exact inverse way about Yamahas. I've never, other than helping like Maddie or whoever out on the side of the road, I've never really wrenched on an XS. I've never owned one. The closest I had was a Honda CM 400T, and that's the closest I've had to that. So I'd like an XS, but I got to clear the catalog first.
Let me know when you're ready. I gotta
I will. Absolutely. I definitely
Gotta
will.
clear out some room in that storage unit, make room
Yeah,
for some
honestly,
more
yeah,
projects.
probably sooner rather than later. That sounds like a really fun one to just kind of like pick away at over time and
Yeah.
Well, I think one of
just
the
enjoy it.
best things about them is that generally, I mean, I've gotten some motors that were worn out, or oftentimes it's like somebody was in this motor, so it's not,
Mm,
not perfect. But usually, if you get a stock motor that has not been completely abused, the thing's going to run fine, and you don't have to
yeah,
rebuild it.
yeah.
Do you
That's
do you keep it mostly stock, like, when you're going through these motors, or d are there what are some I see a bunch of, like, electrical upgrades and this and that, like, things that people have made or, like, who's the big X there's, slipping my mind, the guy that does
Use
excess parts, Mike's Excess and things like
Mike's
that.
is Yeah, Mike's is it's basically catalog from overseas stuff. I get a lot of stuff from them. There's a few other websites that have similar stuff, and you might be thinking of Hughes Hand Built. He's the guy who
Hughes,
did
that's
the
the one, yeah.
he does the he like kind of first figured out how to do the permanent magnet alternator where you don't need a battery.
Yeah.
And he's still going. Actually, his I got an order from him, but his website is currently being serviced. That I'm like, Hugh, I need a PMA for this bike. But he's great. I would not hesitate to buy anything from him.
mm,
So generally, what I'll do is I really like points, and you can actually put points in the later engines that had electronic ignition. It's just like you need a couple bushings in the camshaft, and the advance rod goes through the camshaft, and you can put the points in advance in the later engines. So my favorite setup is points and one of his PMAs, just the regular PMA. He also does an electronic ignition model, which I have a few just from picking up projects where people bought one, but I haven't actually used one because I like points so much. So I do that. I usually upgrade the coils, especially if you're not running a battery. You use like the green Dyna coils, the 3 ohm coils, and if you do like new coils, new points, set it up, get the PMA, it's pretty foolproof. Like it's gonna last a long time until you need to do anything to it.
Yeah. I gotta shout out one of our sponsors, Beck Built Fabs. He's a big fucking, XS
Yeah.
guy, and he has a lot of that trick stuff, like
yeah.
I remember when I was building one back in the day, got the modified worm gear, so you could do, like, jockey shift and shit.
Oh, on the clutch, yeah. I wanna
Yeah,
try one of those.
yeah, he's got them. And, who was it? I think it was Jump Street he was working with, a lot of the stuff that Jump Street used to make,
Yeah, I
Dustin's
saw that.
making now.
I don't know what the deal was, if you, like, sold the rights off to him or something like that.
Yeah, I think he moved on. I think he's doing, like, some more frame stuff now,
Yeah.
but Dustin's the man. He has everything that Jump Street used to make, he's making it now.
Yeah, he's got the
But,
2-in-1
yep,
intakes.
yep.
This is the bike I'm building right now is the first one that I'm running with one of those, and I don't know if it's one that he built or what. I ended up getting that engine in another project bike and had the bike running and everything, and then I was like, I want to keep this engine, so I pulled it out, and I had one of like the really long two in the ones on the right side, but in a box was the one that I'm using. I don't know who built it, but it's really nice because the single intake goes into the center of where it has a U split to either cylinder. So I think that the flow is going to be even.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember those, it was like Wise Guys or something like that. They had the wicked long one that came out and around the bike, like, facing forward almost.
Yeah,
Like
that's
your
what was
carb
on it originally.
Yeah, yeah. So, are you using just the Mikuni carb, like a single, or
That's what
what are
I'm,
you putting on it?
yeah. So like I said, I had the bike running and everything, and I pulled the engine, and it came with Electron carb, which is a really expensive carburetor. And they must
Wow.
have ordered it directly, or when you go on the Electron website, you can put in whatever bike and displacement you've got. And it's not jetted. I don't know even how they work. They're really simple. It seems almost like one of those old lake injectors where it just like dumps the fuel in, but somehow there's like needles that you adjust. Anyway, I couldn't get the bike started reliably with that thing. And on the website, it's like there's 3 overflow tubes, and it's like plug two of them off and blow into one. I'm like, I'm not starting my bike that way.
You
Um,
Mm,
ain't blowing a carb, dude.
no, no, no. And I'm sure I can, once I set it up, it'd be fine. But I just took the Electron off and put a 36 millimeter Mikuni on it, and things started right up.
mm,
So
Yeah,
I may go back to Electron later because it's such a cool carb. But right now, I'm just running the rounds.
mm.
yeah, round side. Those things are pretty damn simple carbs. I
Yeah,
like
they
those.
are.
I like the slide carbs.
Yeah.
Um, I actually have a flat slide Mikuni that I was thinking about maybe putting on the shovel head.
Oh,
Should.
They're just really cool. I love the mechanical, like, you pull the fucking cable and it makes the thing go up. It makes
yeah.
sense to me. Those fucking electrons, yeah, with the tubes, they have a bunch of space age tubes hanging off it. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this.
I don't know. It's got the clear float ball though, which is bonus points.
They're
Oh, that's
very
cool.
cool. They're
That is
definitely
cool.
cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of extra tubage coming off for like a
Tubage.
chopper, and all
Yeah,
that
they're
extra
totally
stuff.
tubular.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely some alien stuff, but it's really cool. I've
Yeah,
heard
dude.
someone explain how they work. It's
I would say
way above
that,
my head.
like, definitely with those XSs, like, the aftermarket for the XS 650 specifically, like, is pretty big, Obviously, the aftermarket for Harley stuff, like Sportsters, shovel heads, panheads, that stuff, humongous. But aside from that, like, I'd say XSs is, like, probably the second biggest, you know?
Yeah, I think maybe even more than Triumphs. I mean, there's a lot of Triumph stuff, but
It's a lot of Triumph stuff, but it didn't there's so many of those XSs, you know what I mean? Like, because they made, like, millions of them. They went, like, worldwide, like, they
Yeah.
made so many of them, and they sold them in, like, Asia where there's billions of people, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
They're like the Honda Civic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Back in the 90s, you used to be able to go get a DX anywhere for $200.
yeah,
It's the same kind of deal.
yeah. And there's a lot of parts
And
that
there's
are.
a ton of aftermarket.
Yeah, I think for the excesses, a lot of the aftermarket stuff is overseas. Like um, Indonesia, they're crazy about them. I almost feel like
mhm,
those Indonesian guys are building some really crazy choppers lately, and
Oh
it
yeah.
seems like they'll build like a really tiny. They have like these. I think they're called Scorpios or a 225
Yeah.
engine, and they build these little choppers out of those. And then I almost feel like I get the idea, like, oh, you got an XS 650. Like over here, it's like, oh, you got a knucklehead. Over there, you don't see Harleys that much. It's like, oh, you
yeah,
got an XS. You got some money or something.
Hmm.
yeah.
You got a big bike.
Yeah, those dudes
Yeah.
that, like, I'm always wicked impressed, like, I'll be watching, like, a reel or something, and I'm like, they're building, like, the craziest exhaust I've ever seen, and then I'll see a sandal in the
Yeah,
video, and I'm like, "We're in Indonesia somewhere," like, and
yeah,
then they're, like, stick welding it together, but, like,
yeah. They
they make it
build.
work, dude. I saw what the fuck? Someone made it was a set of invaders he made look like spider webs.
No
It's so
kidding.
crazy,
Crazy, dude. In
and
That's wild.
sandals, dude, with, like, a
they build
fucking arc
everything.
welder.
They'll buy the engine and maybe the hubs or the wheels, but a lot of the times you'll see them and the wheels and the forks are totally different, and they make the frames and everything. I don't know if there's companies out there that'll have like their line of frames or what's going on, but they're doing it all with stick welders and sandals and it and also those things they rust immediately. Like as soon as
Yeah,
they get some humidity, it's like the next day the thing is completely rusted, and then they have to polish and plate and paint them crazy and everything. It's pretty amazing what they're
yeah.
doing.
For sure.
Yeah, I think I'd love to do a tour over there, just like or if any of you guys that do that are listening to this show, because we do have people in those countries that listen to this show. I'd love to have you on if you speak
Yeah.
English, even broken, I don't give a fuck, you know? I'd love to
We'll
hear
work
about it
through it.
because it's such a cool that kind of culture where it's like, despite all odds, you're still gonna build a chopper, dude, Like, that's sick as hell, dude. They'll build a chopper out of whatever they can do, whatever they can get their hands on,
And they'll make them insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These spindly, like super long front ends and skinny little frames, and they're riding down the road and they're standing up on it, like surfing the bike, and the thing's bouncing
yeah,
all over the place.
yeah, mad respect, dude.
Yeah. 100%. Some of the
There's a,
coolest bikes out there.
there's a big show over there. I forget what it's called, but I know Dice goes to it all the time. I think it just happened.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. I'd love to get over there.
I
That'd
was
be
just
cool.
talking about the Moon Eye show. Yeah. I did the same thing when I said, "How much is a ticket to Japan?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the other side of the world, but
Yeah, fucking
yeah,
expensive.
It's
that's
also, for me, it's during the school year. So anything during the school year, I can't take off more than like a day at a time.
Right.
right.
So I'm kind of screwed there.
What are some of the shows that that you've been to that you like? Because we talked about, I think you mentioned Trog earlier, or oh, Strange Days up in New
Mm.
York.
Yeah.
What are some of the cool shows that you've traveled to that you would recommend?
So the first show I ever went to was Gypsy Run, and that was back after I just built my first XS with a friend, and I didn't really know a lot of people into custom bikes or anything, and I couldn't even get anybody to go with me. I think I saw it on Chop Call. I was like, oh, this looks really cool. It comes right by here. It's like from Jersey up through the Catskills, basically. So I just went out by myself and had a blast, and that was, oh god, it was like 15 years ago, and met a bunch of people. I'm still friends with people that I met on the first ones. And over the last few years, they've had, a couple of years where they didn't have it. It's Walter from Kickstart puts it on. I think some years he just doesn't feel like it or something lately. But they're doing it this year, and it's going to be in late September. Actually, right like my birthday weekend, basically. So it's like a little happy birthday to me. That's probably
Sweet.
my favorite one as far as like the chopper events. Strange Days is also another big one. And same thing during COVID, it got shut down. And last year was the first year they'd done it since COVID, and they had built a bike for it. So I won the Ironhead Strange Days #4, and then COVID was supposed to be 10. They built a bike. A bunch of them, like Cal at Retrofit and Kenny that runs Strange Days, and everybody would build a bike every year. So they built this crazy shovelhead, and they had to wait till last year to raffle it off at the show.
Mm.
And it changed venues. Last year was up in the Adirondacks, or like the foothills of the Adirondacks, and now it's going to be out near kind of Oneonta Binghamton area, and that's at the end of June, I think 27th or something like around that time.
Mm.
Of course, Deadbeat, now that's in the Catskills, that's like an hour and a
Oh,
half from
right.
here. Into August. What else? Another show that is happening again that hasn't happened probably since COVID is Splitting Lanes in Brooklyn.
Mm.
A bunch of guys. Gerard, I think his handle's Road Oiler from Brooklyn. Bunch of nice guys down there. I think it was, yeah, I think it was 2020, the last one they had. And actually, I was supposed to go, and then I was kind of like, no, I don't want to drive to Brooklyn, you know. And then I saw how much fun it was, and they made a book on it and everything. I was, man, I really blew it on that one. So I'm definitely going to that one. It's, I think, September 10th, 11th, something like that. Or wait,
Yeah.
it's the 12th, September 12th. It's a Sunday down in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
I think it's a Brooklyn Bowl. So that's going to be
Okay.
cool.
Nice.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Have you ever made it down to Strange Days? Not Strange Days. Dirt.
Glory days. No, Pittsburgh is like 8 hours from here.
Yeah. It's a
So I
haul.
hadn't. Although, I probably should
And I
have.
think it's during school season too. It's like
It's,
in
yeah,
September. Yeah.
that's what
It's like
happens.
the first week.
If it's like September is tough because unless it's one of those events that's right here, it's hard
Yeah.
for me to take off the first few weeks of school.
Yeah. True.
Although actually I used to always go to Fuel Cleveland, and that's further.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, that's not happening, at least for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not doing it anymore. I think I knew that. Yeah.
No, they had been doing it in the city and at a few different venues, and then they found this farm, which is actually in one of the national parks out there. And it was a really cool venue, but I talked to Mike and he said he wanted to do it back in the city again. And then I think they just couldn't find a place to do it in or something. I don't know exactly why they're not doing it, but I'm hoping they're going to do something else in the future because that was a great show.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that like a lot of these shows can probably just bow out of the showbiz because we got the Atlanta show coming and it's like the best chopper show
Oh,
ever.
yeah,
So
my
like why
favorite.
even try to compete?
You set me
What
up
are you
on that
doing?
one.
What are you doing for Idle Hands? Are you staying up in New Hampshire for a little bit? What's your plan?
Yeah, definitely. We're not sure. My wife's gonna be coming to that one. We got a ton of friends coming. I got friends
Oh yeah.
that live up there in southern Maine, from all over. So I know there's gonna be a lot of people. So we're trying to figure out if we're gonna get an Airbnb. I'm not gonna force my wife to go camping for 4 days or whatever it is. So unless it was glamping or something, but to be determined. We're gonna bring
Yeah.
a lot of people up there.
Very
Hell
cool.
yeah, dude.
Mhm.
Um, let's talk about your Idle Hands build. How'd you get like what made you I mean, I know you have projects just lined up, so any excuse to start one, but what was like how'd you get involved? How'd you hear about it? And like tell us a little bit about what you're building.
I don't know exactly, who posted it first, but obviously I saw you guys on Instagram posting it, and I was like, yeah, why not? I've got this project that it fit the bill. It was all in pieces, and it had been a project that I'd kept putting aside because I really wanted to spend a lot of time on it. And I had done this in the past too. I actually had a Triumph. I still have it, obviously. I built it for my thesis in grad school. I went to grad school for art education, and it was the same thing. It was like 10 years of this thing sitting in the corner and pulling it out occasionally and fiddling with it and then putting it back in the corner. And then the grad school actually got me to push to do it. So your show is doing the same thing. It's taking this bike that I'd had for probably a probably a decade and giving me the motivation to really not only finish it, but like really push myself to do things that I've never done before on it.
Very cool.
Nice.
So the
So what? Yeah. What is the bike?
well, it started out. It was before I even moved to Newburgh. I found this bike on Craigslist, hardtail frame, rebuilt motor. Came down here, met the guy, super cool. Turns out it was a bike that or frame that the company Wargasser, who I don't think they're in business anymore. They made like hubs and like really nice parts. The guys are still out there doing fabrication and bikes and stuff. Not as a company, I don't think. But anyway, they built two frames and finished one bike. So it's this short, I think it's a 0 to 1 inch stretch hardtail with the panhead axle plates on it. So they had done a lot of the work on that. Although I ended up cutting the midsection of the frame out because they left like the big.
Go ahead and pull it up here because
Oh,
it
there you go.
is. Yeah, it got the axle plates.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
real nice. You don't see that a lot on an XS.
No, that's the best part. Um, so yeah, they left the big part of the center of the frame where the pegs mount to the fill up space, and I didn't like that. So I ended up like cutting like half the middle of the frame apart, made a jig to basically replicate, the where the motor would be to keep everything straight. Ended up getting a frame jig afterwards. Um, and I'm not using that motor because I got this 750 motor, like I was talking about before. Well, I still have the matching motor on the bench, but yeah. So I got the bike about 10 years ago, and I kind of had a vision of what I wanted, and slowly over time, it changed as I got different parts. The front end it's a Harley 33.4, so it's like an early iron head drum brake front end, but it's been shaved, and I think it's lowered 2 inches. And I got that. I think it was Small City Cycles that was selling it on Chopper Swapper.
Mm,
What's out on that?
it's beautiful. I love that front end so much.
Yeah, it's really skinny and narrow, and it's
Mm.
minimal. And then I had that Invader for forever. I had it on the first Triumph chopper I built, and ended up taking that off and putting a spool wheel on it because I didn't want to sell the wheel. So I've had that forever. Um, and then so what have I done? I don't know what you guys want to know.
Yeah, you got a mag on there.
Yeah, so that engine came with the 2-in-1 Electron. It's got a 750 kit, um, and it has the mag, which is really cool. And
Mm.
I had it running, so I know the engine is good. I had it ride it up and down the street, and then I took that other bike apart.
I don't think I've
Since
seen a
the
Magneto on an XS, or if I have, it's very few and far between.
Yeah, I don't know if I've really seen one. They're so
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Yeah,
would.
they're really expensive. I don't think people can, like,
Yeah,
reconcile the
it's
money
really
it takes for a bike that, because it's gonna cost more than the project that you bought it. You buy it for 500 bucks, and then I don't even know what these things go for.
they're $1,200.
Jesus.
So, yeah, it's hard to justify that when you could for a few $100 get a brand new ignition system.
Yeah.
So I ended up finding two
Buy
projects up in.
two other XS 650 projects for that.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I got two projects up by Boston that both had mags on them, and they were
Oh,
really
no
cheap.
way.
So I couldn't help that. And I took the mag off the other bike and finished it and sold it. So now I have
Yep.
two mags. But yeah, so what have I done? It's hard to remember. When you had the picture up, I was like, oh wait, I did this. Um, since that picture was taken, I did the pipes. So the pipes are stainless. I got those headers. There you go. So those headers you can get from Mike's or the other websites, and they're stainless 1 3/4, which is really nice. So I cut them off under the pegs, and I have up sweeps on them now that go up like to the midpoint of the sissy bar and like dump back right by the P pad fender area.
Oh, shit.
Sick.
And that in that picture, that's the sissy bar that I made. I had another bayonet sissy that I didn't make, and I was like, I can't just bolt parts together that I have collected. I got to make stuff and try to push myself. So I've never worked with stainless, I had a torch setup for years and I never put it together. So I put that together. I built myself a welding table out of a piece of 1/2 inch bridge steel so I could do all the bending and welding and everything. So that's 5/8 hex stainless. And I practiced on some mild steel because I never really bent any metal by myself. I remember helping a friend build a sissy bar for one of the bikes I built with him. Um, so I practiced on mild steel, and then I practiced on a piece of 1/2 inch square stainless. And I didn't realize how much work is into polishing the stainless even before you bend it. I was like, man, it was days and days of just sanding and polishing. And that was just the practice one. So then I had to do the same with the hex and try not to like mess up the hex, like I don't want to round it off.
Right.
So I think it came up like better than I could have expected. And then
I
the
was
sys
thinking
the
you bring up a lot of good points about bending hex because I always I just use rod, and that's easy to sand out. There'll be like a little divot if you put it in a bender or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, with the hex, they have the sharp corners. So depending on which way you got to lay it out just right. So how did you end up bending it? Was it just heat and muscles, or how did you actually
Well,
bend metal?
the the piece of bridge steel that I got was a friend of mine's son works for the Bridge and Tunnel Authority, and he had a few of these pieces. It's like where the spans come together and bolt or are riveted together. There'd be like that spider web of things coming out, and it's just this like rectangular plate. But it's like, it's like 4.5 feet by 2 feet. The thing weighs 100, and it had these holes drilled in it they ended up being 7/8 inch holes, but a few of them are drilled wrong. And I don't know if they just messed them up or they did it on purpose so they could take them home or what. But I just had like these 1 inch slugs, from like the TC Brothers frame kit or whatever. And I laid them down to fit real snug into those holes. And they're not, I wish it was a grid, but it's like kind of uneven. But at least there are places that I could just take these slugs and just like prop them in and have a couple of points where I could bend against. And then I would end up clamping one end down. I took like a big bar across the table and use like heavy C clamps on either end to hold one end as it was, hanging up between these two pins. And then I would just bend the other end, maybe put a bar on it. But I
Okay.
got a rosebud torch. When I got the torch set up, they're like, "Oh, you want to bend steel? You should get a rosebud." And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And I got it. I'm like, "This thing is aggressive," and it's a small rosebud. And then I ended up talking to a bunch of friends. Luckily I've got a bunch of friends who are like really good fabricators, and they're all telling me that they just use the cutting torch without hitting the cutting nozzle. And I was like, "Oh, let me try that." And I tried it. It takes forever. This rosebud, like, it heats it up in 5 seconds, and you can bend it. So it ended up,
Mm,
it made bending that 5/8 stainless like a breeze.
yep.
I gotta get oxyacetylene. I gotta pull the trigger.
This was,
Doing,
I bought a brand new setup and it wasn't cheap from like Air Gas. I would probably
yeah,
buy one on Facebook instead.
Yeah.
yeah.
I gotta say something on this though, because I've been like, I gotta get oxyacetylene. I gotta get oxyacetylene. But I have a Harbor Freight bender. And if you put 5/8 in there, you're gonna break your bender. And I've broken my bender and I've repaired my bender and it's looks like shit right now. Like no, I couldn't sell this thing on Facebook Marketplace for $5. I couldn't give it away. It's so fucked up from bending 5/8 stainless. So I broke the shit out of it and I couldn't bend with it anymore. But I was making my foot controls and I forget someone had suggested it. I think on one of our lives that we were doing, someone like chimed in. I want to say it was like flake paint or something like that. He said use TIG torch, heat it up. So what I did was I just stuck my shit. I have a welding table and I just clamped it down and I just hit it where I wanted it with the TIG torch. No rod or anything. You just heat it up, just keep it like a nice fat arch. And within seconds, dude, that joint is glowing orange. And then I just took a bar and whoop, 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 wherever you want it to go, any kind of angle you want.
That's genius. I would never have thought of that.
Dude, the TIG torch, I texted Dan right after, like, I was like, dude, my whole world just opened up. Like, I've been sweating just like trying to roll this fucking steel, dude, in this, $70 bender, just cold rolling, sweating. I'm putting my whole ass into it, like really trying to. And then I just hit it with a TIG torch, dude, and just limp wristed with a little piece of bar that I use for like really stuck bolts. I slip it on the end of my ratchet handle. Just put that on, and then you can bend it any way you want effortlessly. It's like butter, dude. It's unbelievable.
I can't believe you bent 5/8 stainless cold.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm kind of a
Or
gorilla, you know?
Yeah.
And by the way, I broke my bender every
yeah.
which way it could be bent. I mean, like the whole thing's bent. Like I bent everything, but I did make I made a I made several sissy bars, 5/8 stainless, cold, and a bunch of foot controls and things like that. But I'll tell you right now, 1/2 inch is max on those Harbor Freight benders, the ones that are like you mount to the floor. Don't try to do 5/8. It's just going to ruin it. But if you're doing 5/8 or you're doing 1/2 inch or whatever, and you have a TIG welder, heat that shit up. And then when you actually like move it, like with stainless, it works on. I did both stainless and mild. So mild, you get like the slag or whatever, and you can actually see like you're like a blacksmith. You can see like
Mhm.
the crust come off as you're twisting it, but it cleans up super easy. I have one of those. I think they're called. It's a grinder attachment, but it has like the belt on it, the pipe and tube polisher, whatever it's called, sander
Yeah, I
polisher.
got one.
And
I
you can
just
get
got the
right into those little grooves. So if you like where you're welding, you're melting the metal, obviously. So you do it on like the inside of the joint where you're doing it, or however you're doing it. But you just smooth it right over, and it's like, but it's so easy, it's effortless because it gets so hot. It's glowing orange, and that
Mhm.
you don't have to really like. I had the clamps that I made that just slip into I think they're like 5/8 hole or something like that, and then you just screw them down. They didn't pop off, and I just bent it exactly how I wanted it, and I was like, "That's how I'm bending things from now on." TIG welder.
yeah, I
Mm.
Because I
just
was talking to Dan, I was gonna get one of those induction welders that you see, right?
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where you can slip it over, but those don't work on stainless because it's not magnetic.
All right.
Yep.
Well, it
Non-ferrous. Yeah.
doesn't matter how you heat it as long as you heat it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just get that shit glowing hot and then twist it. But I would definitely recommend heat. If you have a TIG welder, use that. If you have an oxyacetylene, use that.
Mm.
But yeah, don't be cold bending this stuff
Mm-mm.
unless you have like some serious hydraulic like equipment.
Right.
But I would think it wouldn't bend in a tight radius. When you heat it, if you heat just a tiny bit of it, and then when you bend it, it's got a really tight radius to it. To
Mm.
do like the fender area where it's got the double, little S curve.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Ugh.
that sissy bar stick, you got a sword on there. Something. Is that
Yeah.
where'd you get that bayonet?
So that was I had to spend some money on eBay. That's a new old. I think it's a new old stock bayonet from World War II from Japan. Because I figured like
No
I can't
kidding.
use American bayonet on a Japanese bike. I gotta take it up a notch.
That's very
So
cool.
there's a bunch of different styles that they had. Some were like literal swords, but the thing is huge. I've got an American bayonet also, and this thing is like 6 inches longer than it. And it's got the
Mm.
sheath. It's like almost perfect condition. And I just tack weld it in place now to the sheath. So I got to be really careful when I weld it. I don't blow a hole in it because it seems pretty thin.
Hmm.
But I'm
Mm.
gonna make a little bracket with a nut and bolt in stainless that I'm gonna weld to the top so that I can secure the bayonet so it doesn't fall out, get stolen, or if I ride the bike to school, I don't get a felony and get arrested and fired.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
bike would say like,
Jeez.
"Oh, it's no, it
Do
doesn't
you
come
do
off."
you ride your bikes to school?
I do, yeah,
That's awesome, dude.
Very cool.
Kids must love that.
yeah. Sometimes I
Yeah.
take them out and show up to them.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
sick.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to the exhaust. You said where'd you get that? You got stainless steel headers from where?
Yeah, so I think Mike sells them, but there's another website that I like to go to. They don't have as much stuff, but it's a lot cheaper usually. It's literally called YamahaXS650.com.
Mhm.
And they've got they're 1 3/4 headers and they're stainless and they do kind of kick up a little bit in the back. So I just cut that part off because I wanted it to come straight along the frame rail. And then I ended up getting let's see, I got like a J bend and like a 45 from Stainless Bros, one for each side. And then I was able to make um they go up a 45 and up a 45, so they're sticking straight up by the sissy bar, and then they kick back at a piece of the 90.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good to know because it's like finding stainless 1 3/4. is kind of hard. Like people don't definitely in the Harley world, they're not selling it. They sell the mild steel and stuff.
Hmm.
But you could get that and put some, just use the bends and use the material and make it
Mhm.
work for
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, and the exhaust clamps on there, those are those are from overseas. I think TC Brothers sells those. They're like the big finned aluminum ones that
Yeah.
guys used to put on their Triumphs.
Hell yeah.
So there's a company that makes those ones. Yeah, I'm pretty sure TC Brothers sells them. I don't know who else, but I had to make them fit. I had to hog them out, because they're made for 1.5 inch pipe. So I,
Ah.
I was able to put them on the lathe where the flange is, and so there's like the big fin thing is like spinning around by the head, but it didn't get caught or anything and explode. And I bored the inside out, and then I just cut the flange off, and they ended up fitting perfectly on those pipes.
Mm.
Do you yeah, what kind of equipment do you get? You have access to a lathe at your
Mhm.
garage and all that stuff?
Yeah, and I just have a little. So I've got a 2-car garage, and one side is packed full of bikes, and the other side is supposed to be the work area, but it's getting smaller and smaller by the day. It's
Also
got
packed full of bikes.
Yeah, I've got like I think I have a dozen XS engines on a bench in there, and Triumph
Oh.
engines, and then I have like 2 project bikes that I got recently that I have to make sure that it's not raining and I could pull them out and work in there.
Yeah.
So I do have a little tiny lathe. It's a Craftsman Atlas. I
Mhm.
think it's a 6-inch swing, and it's just big enough to fit a fork leg in there.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
a little janky. It's like I need some work. It's
Yeah.
so
Those mini lathes, I got the Vivor one or whatever, and you can make little parts for it that make it, like, better, but the polishing, I'm gonna say right now, polishing and cleaning metal and stuff, it makes it a dream.
Yeah.
Like, when I
That's why
was
I have
when I was
one.
cutting up my foot controls and stuff, and I'm like, you polish it first when it's just straight. You stick it in there, and you just go through the sandpaper, and then you can go through, like, put on the buffer or whatever. It makes it so much easier, dude. Even with mild steel, just, like, getting all the mill scale off and, um, like, my foot controls that come up, they come to a point, and, like, grinding that point off, it just instant, you just
Yeah.
get all the mill scale off, you can grind it to a point, you can get whatever you want on it. Those mini lathes are nice, dude. I'm really happy that I got mine. I think I got it for like under $500,
Hmm.
brand new. It's
yeah, this I
definitely
got an
handy.
old. It's an old used one. I mean, thing's probably 100 years old, but and I probably
Yeah,
paid $300 for it. But
yeah,
it's for making little spacers and things. You can't do without it. You could sit there with a hacksaw and a file or a grinder and a file forever.
yeah.
It's
And
not.
it doesn't take up that much room in especially if like garage room is very important to me.
Mm.
And having a mini lathe on a bench, it has 0 footprint on the ground, so I I just moved, like, my bandsaw away because I wasn't using that. Like, I have the bandsaw that's, like, on the ground or whatever, and then I had a benchtop one. So I'm just like, "Oh, I don't use that." Put a mini lathe there. It's, I don't know, maybe 3.5 feet long, and, you just use it all the time for just little things. Even just, like, cleaning up old hardware and stuff. You can get like a perfect face on like a 75-year-old bolt, you know?
Mine up. I have these 2 heavy duty metal cabinets. They used to be for D&B, like when you had your actual info on a card, index card, and they're probably 5 to 5.5 foot tall, and there's 2 of them side by side, so it's probably 4 foot wide. And I had the lathe up on there, so when I use it, I have to like stand up on a milk crate or something like that. But it's out of the way, It's like I'm not going to use
Yeah,
that space for anything else.
Yeah. That's awesome.
that's a good tip
You got to
though.
yeah,
When
when you're
when
working
you
in a
run out
one.
of garage floor space, you gotta go vertical.
Go up.
Yeah, yeah, I've got shelves everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, shelving is huge. Like any tool that you bring in that takes up floor space is, you know, it's less
Yeah.
room to be working in, like because you're not gonna use it all the time, like having a belt sander or a lathe or a drill press or whatever. There's definitely things that you use constant like my welding table, I think I use that more than anything because I use it for everything, you know? I use it for the fabrication stuff, but I also use it for, uh I have my vise on there, So, like, I'm constantly that space has to be clear and ready to work, and it's just another bench top too. Because I have the bench, I have the long workbench, but once you get all these parts in your bikes apart, like I have handlebars and the transmission's all apart and fucking all this other stuff that I have to use later on, but it's not on the bike yet. The whole area is just fucked up. We saw a bunch of actually idle hands guys. I think Nick kicked it off. We
Yeah.
just like need to make some space and you just
Yeah.
push everything to the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
But
videos
that's
were
how it
hilarious.
is, dude. Like it's a commodity and it's a hot commodity is just like table space, a place to do stuff in.
Yeah. I think organization is key, and I just keep getting more and more parts and projects and things. So I've got a long workbench that is never actually used for working. It's got a drill press on one end of it that I use, but then it's got like 6 Yamaha motors on the top of it. And in front of that are like boxes of parts of bikes that I'm currently working on. But I'm always trying to get more and more organized, getting the cabinets and those drawers I have. Like one side is for all excess parts and the other side's for all like little chopper parts. I was getting to the point where I would buy stuff and not realize that I already had 5 of those things until I put them all in one place.
Mm,
Yep.
I know what that's like. I just went through I have a little plastic 3 set of drawers on the left side, and it was originally supposed to be for welding consumables and things like that. But I went through it the other day, and I was like, I have an entire pack of 60 grit sandpaper, and I have 3-inch and 6-inch, and like all this other stuff, and respirator filters, and yada yada. Like I had no idea. If I need pegboard everywhere, and I need to put everything out on the pegboard, even if it's in disarray. But if it's out and I can see it, I'll remember it exists and then I'll use it. If I don't, I have so many things in there that like I have 3 or 4 different sets of sandpaper of the same grit, but I don't have any of the 2 grits below or above it because I just forget and keep ordering the same shit.
You must have a ton of
Yeah.
stuff for all your painting.
Yeah.
You gotta keep that all separate from like the dirty garage stuff.
It's tough, man, especially like in the middle of a build right now. I ran into that today because I'm going through and I'm tapping holes and transmission mounts and whatever while flash coats are doing their thing in the paint booth. So I'm like mixing paint next to this very greasy set of bearings, and it's like, oh, shit. Yeah, it's been tough, but I'm just doing primer right now, so it's okay. Everything's good. But yeah, it's really hard to keep them separate. And I have a 6-foot table that now that the panhead's footprint is smaller and I can stuff everything against the wall, I've replaced it with a table to put the panhead on top of as I work on it. It's like now I have a table with a bike on it and the work. And it's, yeah.
Do you have a stand for that panhead?
Like for the engine? Oh yeah, I've got it on a stand. It's pretty sick. I did it pretty gaudily. I put it on. I have like a 4-foot stand that I usually use for a paint stand, but I noticed it has slots for bolts in it or whatever, and so does my V-twin engine stand. So I was like, I wonder if those would line up. And diagonally they do, and you can throw a 3/8 bolt through there. So I was like, fuck it. So I threw it up there and I put the panhead, lugging the panhead up onto it was interesting all by myself. But once I got it up there, it's like when I sit down in my like smoking spot or whatever, the panhead's right in front of me. I'm just staring at it the whole time. It's pretty sick. So especially now that it's all cleaned up and shiny and stuff, I can just sit there and stare at it all day.
And they take a lot less room when they're in pieces.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I got fork legs hanging from every which direction. The upper trees over here, the lower trees over there. And yeah.
I'm in that mode right now where like when you're actually doing work, all your tools and all your parts and everything is everywhere. So you can't find anything, but you can't stop and clean your garage. You know what I mean? Like, cause that's going to take a half a day. You don't have time for that shit. So you just got to power through it,
Yeah.
And you're gonna take the same tools right back out again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
You just got to work dirty, you know?
Yep.
The problem I run into is like, I'll be with this bike will be apart and then, let me work on this bike. And I don't put things away in the meantime. Or I've got the bin of parts from that bike that I just took apart. So the workbench keeps getting smaller and smaller. I really should at some point stop. And every once in a while I do, but it'll like to really fully organize the whole garage and put everything away. It takes like a whole day.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big undertaking, and then you're like putting up new shelves or to doing new, like you make more work for yourself. But
Yeah.
when you first start and everything's like, once you clean your garage, you're like, all right, now it's time to get to work, and like you're like, I'm gonna put these wrenches back, and like you hang on to that for a little bit. But then once you start getting like a little bit flustered or whatever, you're like, I don't give a fuck about the state of the garage, and like shit just get there's fucking like shop towels everywhere, and there's fucking
Right.
spilled oil and fucking. But it sucks though because like you'll drop a bolt or something, or you're like, I know I just had that fucking tool, and like, and then you're just digging through piles and shit. Fucking
Yeah.
yeah. I need a half a day to clean the garage just so I can get back to basics. But oh, and the other thing that sucks too is this time of year it starts getting nice out. I open the garage doors and all the leaves blow in,
Leaves and the
all the
pollen.
debris and all that bullshit.
Yeah. The pollen's already kicking my ass. I can barely keep my eyes open.
Oh, for real.
Oh, it's brutal. Yeah. Awful. I was up in a bucket this morning and I watched a droplet of water fall off the bucket next to there's a huge tree right next to where I was, and I watched the droplet hit like just a couple little flower buds, and literally a cloud of yellow pollen poofed off of it. And I was like,
Oh,
God, I gotta get out of here. That'll kill me. If I
Thanks
were to
so
bump
I have
into that
I have
tree, I
0
would die.
allergies. I feel so bad for you people.
I never did as a kid. It's like a mid to late 20s it started happening, and now it'll absolutely knock me down. The pollen's awful. I feel like my face is gonna explode, but I'll take it over snow.
So, Kevin, anything else on this bike that you want to go over before we shut her down? I mean, just in my opinion, it might be one of my favorite XSs I've ever seen. I love the fucking
100%.
pipes. I love the direction. I love the seat and P pad, dude. I don't know what it is, but it just looks like perfect to me.
Yep.
The
The
yeah, the
front
night.
front
end is so
end, the
sick,
cast
dude.
axle plates.
Yeah, the cast axle plates. It's just I can't wait to see this thing at idle hands.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So let me talk a little bit about things that I've done that I thought like I try to push myself and do that I've
yeah.
never done before. So the stainless work, the sissy bar, I still have to weld the pipes. I got to get a purge set up for that, but that was a big thing. Never work with stainless, never really bent anything.
Are you a TIG welder or a MIG welder?
I'm learning to TIG.
TIG. Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, I've had a MIG welder probably over 10 years, and I got my TIG 3 or 4 years ago. I got okay with it. Luckily, like I said, I got a lot of friends who I call on to help me out when I'm struggling.
What are you running for a TIG welder?
A big, huge Syncrowave 200.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah, so it takes up a lot of space, but the thing's a
Mm,
monster. I've only had it. I think it stopped to cool down one time. It has a fan that kicks on, and I was like welding the whole frame,
mhm.
and then finally I
Wow.
was like, oh, that does that? Oh, okay. I guess I gotta stop for a minute. The torch was getting real hot. Um, so yeah, that machine pretty much will do anything. And it came with I got it used, and it came with a bottle of gas, and it came with
That's nice.
mild stainless and aluminum rod and everything. It's great. I
Nice.
haven't tried aluminum yet. That's next. But
Oh,
so
that's key too, is the AC/DC, all
Mhm.
that. That's nice.
yeah, not yet. One thing at a time.
Yeah. Oh, you can repair cases and fucking shit on the engine, like, eventually, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, that's gonna
I'd
be
like to.
huge.
And then you saw the modifications I did with the tank and the fender. I moved the cap on the top of the tiny. It's a Triumph oil cap. I actually had some of those new old stock Hap Jones caps. It's basically an oil cap with a hole drill in it for a vent. And then I did the molding with 1/4 inch round bar and kind of like made it go along the bottom of the tunnel where I cut the tabs off because that's another thing. I did the hidden mounts.
Nice. I
Oh,
love
the
that.
hidden
And
tank mounts, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I did like this rib that goes along the fender that stops and tapers off where the frame is and where the P pad is and stuff. And then it wraps around the duckbill. And then last night, this thing that's been on the list for a while, and of course I wait till 4 o'clock last night to start it. I'm building like a fake oil tank, only
I
because I think
saw
it
Uh,
that.
needs to fill up the space because there's like it's got a lot going on with the bike, and then you got this big hole, which
yeah.
it's funny because I was talking to some friends about this, and when I first got into custom bikes, maybe this was like 15 years ago. That was like the thing. It was like the hole in the frame, even on a stock bike, like if you were like a brat style, like flat seat, the
Yep.
hole through the frame where you could see through the bike. We thought that was the coolest thing ever. And
Negative
now I'm like,
space.
yeah, I'm like, how did you do that? You got rid of the battery and everything. And now I'm like, I think I need something there.
Yeah.
So I'm building this oil tank that's going to fit in there, and the bike's not going to need anything in there electronics. Like it's got the mag, so it doesn't have any external coils, condensers in there. It's going to have a capacitor and a regulator under the engine just for the lights. I'm going to tuck it where the starter was, but I'm going to make it like I made another bike a few years ago with a similar oil tank that had a hinged cover. So you lift the seat up and you lift this little hinge cover, had like these little wing nut things. And then I'm going to use that for like tools, or I'm
Oh,
thinking
dude,
at the show, I might just put like snacks or candy in there for the show and then
I
pull it
love
out.
it.
dude, that's like having a saddlebag, bro. That's fucking. I
Yeah.
love that idea to have the whole
This is a lot
tool.
of
You can
space.
pack a lot of tools in there. There's a lot of negative space to fill.
Yeah. So, I got like the box pretty much roughed out. Got to figure out mounts, and then I got to figure out the little hinged lid. I was also thinking I could maybe take, like a panhead 6-volt battery cover. It's like the little rectangular cover with the two. It had like studs coming
Mm,
up, those flags with the wing
Mhm.
nuts on them. Like I could use that for the cover. I'm not sure. I have
Mm.
one in storage. I'll dig it out and see. But I need some. I want some mechanism that's gonna allow you to close it and hopefully not get any water in there and be kind of neat when you open it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The door. And then I'm gonna figure out where the. Sorry, the dogs are going crazy. Figure out like what kind of molding and rib I want to do around that dog's deer or something.
What do you got? What do
Wait,
you
what?
got for the tire on the back there? You got a little knobby boy.
That's Duro. I forget the number. HF208, I think. It's a copy of an old Pirelli or Carlisle flat track
Yeah,
tire,
yeah.
which are great. Um they probably only started making those like I don't know, 6 or 8 years ago.
Hmm.
I remember, when I started getting into custom and vintage bikes, probably 15 years ago, there was really limited tire selection.
Hmm.
I would be running those. Remember the Goodyear speed grips with the two skinny white walls around them? I would go to the
Mhm.
swap meet and like find a new old stock one of those from like 50 years ago and just wear it out. And luckily the rubber was good enough where I wouldn't kill myself. But now like Shinko started making those. Shinko makes the Goodyear copies, the big tall ones.
Yep.
Um
I have one on the panhead.
270s. I think
Yes.
it's 270s.
Yes. Yep.
And then
270.
Duro makes these, which are really cool because they got that like vintage flat track look.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't make a 16 or a 21. They only make 18s and 19s and some smaller sizes. But they do
Huh.
make a 4019 if you want to go for the fat front,
Is
or
that
if
a
you have
19
in
on
the
the
rear.
rear?
No, that's an 18.
It's an 18. Okay.
That's a 4018. And I'm thinking for the front, I might go with the Shinko block trials tires. They're just like square tread.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because the Avon
Oh,
that's
yeah.
on there that's old and cracked from when I had that Triumph 12 years ago or more.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna go with that kind of aggressive block tread for the front.
I
That's
like it.
sick.
I
I like
like it a
that.
lot.
Mm.
Yeah, man, this thing's really shaping up. This thing's really cool.
You got the idea for paint and all that going?
I was just about to mention that. The only other thing before paint, or I can do it anytime really. I want to try casting a taillight. So I want to do. I remember one guy, I think his handle was like Hummingbird something or other on Instagram. Did a tutorial probably on Chop God, like over 10 years ago, and I had the resin ever since, and it's somewhere. I don't know if it's still good or not, but I got to dig it
Mm.
out, and I want to try making one based on the Lucas style plate mount that the aluminum plate mount that's on the bike is made for. But I want to make kind of like they have the cat head ones, but I want to make a like a Japanese Oni demon.
Ooh,
And I actually
fuck
took
yeah.
a class trip with my Ceramics 2 kids to the Met Museum in New York City. And I was walking around. I've been there a bunch of times, and there's certain places that I generally go to. And I ended up like trying to find my way back to the front and went a different route. Turned the corner and ended up in the arms and armor room with the
Mm.
Japanese samurai armor section. And
Hmm.
I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. So I got some pictures, and you can actually go on their website and see all the like professional pictures of everything in their collection. So you can type in like samurai helmet, and there's a few of them that had these crazy little demons on the front of the helmet, like right up here, that I think I'm going to try to reference those.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that.
It's a great idea.
And
Fuck
then
yeah.
for for paint, I was thinking I've done some flame paint jobs and some like marbly paint jobs, and everything I do is just spray cans. I use the Duplicolor metal cast,
Yeah.
translucent. So a lot of times I'll do like a white base coat, and then I'll do like the smoke color kind of haphazardly, sand it down, and it looks kind of like a settling painting,
Okay.
like this like smoky effect. And then I'll do a color over it or a fade over it. So I thought about doing that with like a skinny white, like black base, white and smoke flame to match the marble grips, kind of along the ribs that I did on the where the molding's going to be on the tank, around
Okay.
the middle of it and the bottom of it. So it would have flames coming from the center downwards, real
Ooh.
skinny. But I'm also trying to think of if I'd really like to. I got to look at like all the samurai armor and see what kind of textiles they have and what kind of colors. I know they use a lot of black and gold.
Yeah.
I might try doing something inspired by that, like if I can get a pattern. I mean, now there's all kinds of things you can do, like you can get patterns cut, out of
I was gonna
vinyl and
say,
stick them on.
yeah, stick it
Um,
stencils and all that stuff. They may very well have something like that already. Yeah, for sure.
another idea I
Cool.
had was I went to Japan in 2010. I got a set of chopsticks there that I still have, and they're enameled, and they have like I think it is where they take the paint and they put it on like unevenly, where there's got thick spots and thin spots, and they build up several layers of that. So it'll be like golden red and golden red and black, and then they sand it down and sand through a lot of those high spots to get like this
Yeah.
kind of marbled effect.
Yep.
I tried doing something like that. I don't know if I should use one shot or if I need to get something that's a little like harder to be able to sand through it.
Yeah. I mean, if you used one shot with hardener, like an activator in it, I think that would probably work. It'd probably expedite the process too.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're applying it super thick, you might have to wait a long time till it's dry enough to sand.
Right. And if you're doing it with that in mind, you're not trying to like paint something. You're trying to build up coverage. You can mess with your hardener ratios. You know what I mean? And you
Okay.
could probably get it to kick pretty quick and do what you want. Yeah, I'm imagining. Have you ever heard of Fordite? So Fordite is really cool. It's not much a thing anymore, but in the old days, especially the lacquer days, in paint shops, they would do so many paint jobs that the paint would start to accrue, or it'd start to
Yeah.
accumulate. And it would, if you took it and sanded through it or whatever, you would get the same kind of deal. I forget exactly. I've watched a ton of videos on it, and I've done the method you're talking about for knife scales. I've made,
Cool.
it keeps coming, Makunigane or something like that is what it's called. I forget. But yeah, you're basically laminating a bunch of layers of colors and sanding away to get that kind of effect or whatever. So yeah, I know what you mean. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I have
But yeah,
seen
the Fordite
chopsticks.
thing's really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know where I saw it. It was like a maybe Instagram or something, but it was a chunk, and they're almost calling it, in the way they were sort of saying or insinuating it was like a semi-precious stone, but in reality, it was just these layers of paint from a paint booth that had just been sanded smooth or polished or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they make jewelry and stuff out of it.
Oh,
And yeah,
cool.
it's really, really cool. Yeah, it's really
Mhm.
interesting.
I had an actually awesome idea, as I
Yeah.
usually do. Have you ever heard of kitsugi?
That sounds
I
familiar.
think so.
Right. So, like in Japan, if you have like a teacup and it chips, they
Oh,
repair
yeah.
it with gold.
Gold? Yeah.
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 Yep.
And it's what does it mean? It's something like finding beauty in imperfection.
Right.
Oh, that's
What
wabi sabi.
Yeah, wabi sabi.
There
There
it
you go.
is.
Yeah. That would be such a cool paint job. For like
Yeah.
a Japanese patina bike, you have like this thing, and then all of a sudden there's like this repaired piece out of like gold or some shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys, I'm never gonna build a Japanese bike, so you guys can take that. I'm not gonna do
Nice.
that, but I thought that would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Porcelain
Yeah.
bike.
Yeah.
It's like a little touchy because I'm not Japanese, if you didn't notice. And, I'm building this Japanese bike with these like Japanese influence pieces or Japanese bayonet and stuff. So it's like I don't want to just make a weird replica of something.
Right.
I want to try to take influence from something and use it like in a little, like if I can use that enamel or it's actually lacquer, like you said. I think lacquer is what comes from the tree sap, right? That's what they used to
Yep.
use.
Yep.
So, just use it like in little sparing parts, like a little panel on the oil tank or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just listened to a podcast about the Japanese tsunami in 2011. I've never had more respect for anybody in my entire life than the Japanese people, dude.
Mm.
They had a 9.1 earthquake, a fucking nuclear meltdown, and a tsunami. And dude, like 3 weeks later, everything was back to normal. They're building cars. Their fucking shit's back up. Like those people are crazy, dude.
We got it
They
figured
know how
out.
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been there?
No, it's so high up on the list. I was just thinking about Tokyo today.
I'd love to go back. So
Yeah.
the reason I went there is because I used to be really into bonsai trees, and I won a contest where I styled a bonsai tree at this event,
Sick.
and I won airfare to Japan. Like I never would have gone. I was also a poor college kid, so I couldn't afford it.
Hmm.
This is back in 2010, but it's the most incredible place. It's like I feel like you're stepping back in time, but you're also going into the future at the same time when you're in Japan, and everybody is so nice. And there were people that went out of their way to help me, even though they couldn't speak to me and I couldn't speak to them. Like I was on the wrong subway station. This lady literally stopped cleaning the subway station so she could walk me 4 blocks to the right subway station.
Wow.
Yeah, everything is beautiful and clean, and it's
Yeah.
like it's like a utopian society over there.
Yeah, it's like that's number 1 or 2 on the list. And I just read that my family, we've been considering a Disney trip while my kids are of that age and whatever. And I just read an article that said that depending on where you live in the United States, it's cheaper to go to Disney in Tokyo than it is to go to Disney in Florida now.
Oh, that's a great
Really?
excuse to go.
I
over
was
there,
like,
yeah.
I'm down for that. Let's go to Tokyo. Fuck it.
Disney in
So,
Florida,
I don't know.
very expensive.
It's incredible. They're saying it's like $1,500 a person to go there now.
It's crazy.
For flights, I was just looking,
got it
dude,
like
and the
that.
cheapest I could find was over 2 Gs per person.
Unbelievable.
Japan?
I would rather drive. It's like a 21-hour drive from here to Orlando. I would much rather do that.
I thought you were talking about Tokyo. I'm like, I don't think you can drive there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it all
it is.
depends. Like another part of being a teacher is whenever I'm off, the airfare jumps up in price. 'Cause
That's
everyone's-
true.
That's like when everyone's traveling. So if you can go on like an off time, or if you can book it last minute and they're just trying to fill the flight, you could
Right.
get a really cheap flight.
Yeah.
I think I might take up fucking bonsai, maybe get a free flight. Or maybe I'll build a bike and I'll be in Moon Eyes or some shit.
That's how you got to do it. Go with what you know.
That's the dream, obviously. Moon Eyes is the dream.
All right, Kevin, we're at well over an hour here. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about this build, or is everybody just have to show up the day of the show to see what this thing looks like?
Well, you're definitely gonna have to show up.
Definitely show up.
I mean, you can also just keep watching my stories and stuff. Because I'm still making stuff. I feel like I gotta hustle and finish this so I can tear it apart.
Fucking A, dude. I'm so stoked to see this thing. I can't wait to hear it.
Same.
XSs they got a soft spot, like they're definitely one of the coolest platforms to build off of, in that you're doing this thing justice. This thing looks amazing, dude. Stick around, Kevin. We got Speed in Noise on Instagram. Go follow him. If you're not following him, why are you even listening to the show, dude? Like, he's in the idle hands devil's dozen. What are you doing? Get on board, partner. Lowlife's going to take you into your weekend with a little bit of get in the garage, a little bit of get in trouble, a little bit of have fun, and never stop chopping. Deadbeat Customs. Steve over at Deadbeat Customs is all about grassroots motorcycle riders who build and customize their bikes. When it comes to building a custom motorcycle, they carry the best brands available. Go visit their brick and mortar store in Tewksbury, Mass, or at deadbeatcustoms.com. Remember, enter code LOWLIFE at checkout to save some money. Stay Strong Co. Jean-Luc makes the most heavenly hot sauces in the world. The shits, and hotter than a Harley and a pepper patch, Low Life chopper sauce. Go to staystrongco.org today and grab yourself the holy trinity of hot sauces. Beck Built Fab. Dustin is the plug for excess chopper parts. Drum, disc brake, mid controls, hand shifters, foot clutch, modded worm gears, intakes, and more. He can do any fabrication, weld repair, upholstery, or maintenance job. Check him out at beckbuiltfab.com. Revenant Chop Co. Connor isn't about overpriced lifestyle merch. It's chop clothing made for the garage, for the blue-collar builder who'd rather spend his money on parts than trendy tees. It's not just another stack of black t-shirts either. He drops wild garage-born designs that stand out, gear that looks great, covered in grease, or on the side of the road. Check out RevenantChoppers.com.